Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series with me, your host, Gyle. I've got a 1v1 for you guys today featuring two heavyweights. It's Zock, needs no introduction, everyone knows who he is, one of the main guys in the game right now, one of the top players, and he's going to be facing off against Washi, my good friend, and one half of Team BrainWashed, the recent victors of the Rise of the Immortals trophy. So it is going to be a pretty interesting fight, and it's going to be using the NG mod as well. I'm pretty certain I haven't cast one of these yet. For those of you that don't know, an NG mod, or the NG mod, is an attempt to redesign the way engineers work or function in the game, or at least give some people options the way they want it to play, and to cut down on the amount of lag that's produced by people basically spamming out 300 or 400 T1 NGs, and they all bump into each other and make new waypoints, slowing down the game immensely. This is a way to address that by working with the T2 and T3 NGs, making them a little bit more cost effective and a little bit more useful to get out later game, and also at the same time allowing factories to assist one another. They've added some other structures as well. Can't say I'm up to speed on everything, but I hope it piques your interest to go and have a look at it nonetheless. Anyway, let's get on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. And it'll be a very familiar map indeed at first glance. It'll be the look of Crossfire Canal, but then you'll immediately look up here and see that it's actually Pizza version 2. And the more astute of you will realize immediately that, hey, there's too few mass points on these slices. And then I zoom in a little bit more, and it's like, hey, this is a smaller map. It is, in fact, a 10K version of the original 20 by 20 kilometers. So it's a much more friendly format for a 1v1. The pros like it because they can get in quicker, more succinct games. The 20 kilometers maps are not top of the pops at the moment. It's something that perhaps needs to be worked out. Lots of them complaining about the issues of long, unexpected games in the ladder. But anyway, taking a look at the two players and where they're starting down here, we've got Washi. He's in the green corner, going his customary UEF. He's going first land, couple of P-gens, all very standard, going to help some mexes. Then he's set a waypoint down here for his commander to get a move on and assist, presumably with the hydrocarbon. Going to bag some of that reclaim around the sides as well. Why not? Up here, we've got Zock, and he's going his customary Cybrin in the orange corner. He's going land, and he's going second air as well. Be interesting to see if Washi does the same. He's got an awful lot of T1 P-gens attached to that as well, so lots of power adjacency bonus going on, not just snagging the bonus off the hydrocarbon. He's going to add more to it. Be interesting to see if he goes for any kind of crazy early air tech strat or not. Perhaps he's thinking to take advantage of some jester play. All very interesting to see. Washi is also going to go second air. He's going to plonk that right down next to the hydrocarbon, get that all-important bonus. And there's a lot of master reclaim on this map as well. Really big rocks at the entry points to the right-hand side of the slices. You can imagine that's quite a lot of mass there that's available for reclaim. And also, there's a lot less protection in the central bases. You remember how high the cliffs around this middle section actually rise on Crossfire Canal. That gives you some pretty good natural coverage against TAC missiles and artillery and all that kind of thing, and ships firing over across onto your main bases. None of that here. These are very much more of a flat occasion, so a lot more of a kind of deathmatchy feel to it, a lot less turtley. Works very well as a phantom map, the original, of course. But we're going to see some air coming out now from both players. Washi is the more aggressive one. He's going bomber first, whereas Zock is going more defensive, getting interceptor out first, and that's going over to Washi's side of the map, going to get a bit of a scout on. As Washi comes up on this upper slice, gets a look on it. Nice read on there with the scout plane. He's going to know that engineers are there, and he's going to get bombs away, and that engineer is not going home to his wife and kids at all. He's going to lie there in pieces on the battlefield. And another group of 3 engineers. This would be an absolutely beautiful opening to Washi if he can snag all 3 of these as he comes in. Boom! 3 engineers down, 4 kills for the bomber in total. Another one that's been seen. So Washi being very effective with the combination of the scout plane and the bomber. That goes down as well. Finally, an interceptor comes out to deal with it. Epic bomber, Washi says in chat. Indeed it is. Nicely played. I'm very impressed. And Zock is making his way across the map now over onto Washi's main island. and see where he's actually got the waypoint set to. It's just been redirected right into the middle of Washi's base, and Washi's comm is over here on the right, so he's not home to defend. So both these guys sending their comms out to help snag extra slices, and Zock's probably won't be anticipated this maneuver. I do like it. Incidentally, guys, lots of you have been complaining that I don't show any Aeon bases in my opening splash screen or any Seraphim bases. I promise you it will happen next week, so get off my back about it. No, seriously, there's no racial prejudice there at all. Zock finally makes beachfall landfall at the edge or the front corner of this slice, picks up a snoop kill, so BrainWashed will be aware that he's there. Zock immediately cancels that earlier waypoint that he set and starts working on a factory. He's going to start trying to make an incursion on this main island. There's already a T2 mass extractor here for Washi, so Washi doesn't really want to lose this main area. It's also where he's got his air factory sitting. Certainly that's worked well for him at the opening to this game. We've got a naval factory up here for Washi, and Washi's also got superior amounts of inties who are just hovering over the top of Zock's air factory, who's starting to, well, continuing to produce interceptors, but of course every time they fly off the pad they're going to get insta-shot down. So nice work. Obviously there's no land-to-air defense in the middle of Zock's base, making that a viable option for the moment. Washi makes landfall over on the right-hand side, so Washi making quite a move with his comm as well. It is the time to do it, of course. Early game, there's very little on the field, and of course you're not likely to get mobbed by outrageous amounts of Mantis or other T1 units at this stage in the game. And Washi picking a fight with a hill and losing it as the engineer sits there calmly grabbing it. That'll be a story to tell your grandkids, little engineer. Oh no, it won't. Not telling anybody. All he had to do was go home. But so much going on a map of this scale, it's hard to keep your eyes on everything. Little details. We've got a transport coming in with a couple of tanks and a couple of engineers, and it looks like they're going to get the initiative. You can see a couple of static defenses coming down for this engineer up here, but he's not going to get that down at all. There's too much build capacity up here and too many tanks, and that will be the end of that little engineer. So nice push from Washi, currently looking like he could be controlling up to 65-70% of this map, although if Zock keeps his commander here, he's on an upgrade. If he keeps his commander here, that'll be too much build power for Washi to contend with. He could potentially lose this slice, and he's trying to get an upgrade on his right hand. Bombs coming in from Washi at the same time, so it looks like it's probably going to be, actually it's probably going to be either the gun upgrade or the T2 engineering suite. We'll have to see how that works out for him, but either way it's taking way more power than he's got right now, so definitely bottlenecking on power at that end. Lots of mass points on this tiny little map, so it's definitely more likely to be power bottlenecking you early on. And we're starting to see some slivers out for Zock. Where is the rally point? So that's set to the middle, just in the off chance. It's kind of difficult to know with the formation of the water on this map when and where your opponent might be building navy. So just as a matter of course, Zock seems to have set a rally point in the middle, so he's got the quickest possible retaliatory route if and when he discovers any kind of naval factories. Starting to see some Mantis coming off the factory up here. A few more engineers coming in to assist, get another factory down. But there are already 2 T1 land factories in place for Washi, so the advantage is with him. And we're starting to see Riptides on the field now for Washi as well. So nice little bit of land tech seems to be coming off this factory down here. And a land activator, no idea what that is. That's something to do with the engineer mod. What happens if I click on it? There's a placeholder, a land activator. No idea what that does, but hopefully this piques your interest a little bit to go and find out for yourself. And that's all I'm here for, not actually here for any useful information whatsoever. Zock now steaming into BrainWashed's original spawn with his ACU, using Medusas to back him up. Very nice indeed, helping to stun that T1 PD, keeping the damage off the ACU. And all of this build capacity looking like it might be about to go pop, as Zock makes his incursion, picks up a couple of extra kills. Finally Washi decides to move them. He's going to evacuate, I imagine, to this slice over here. is going to lose that air factory, but he has got another one down here. And this seems to be an area he needs to stop the push across this river from Zock. Doesn't want him coming across and taking out that land factory, T2 land factory, or that air factory. But there's lots going on all over the place now, so I'm going to go to split screen, keep an eye on these two different fronts. We're starting to see some Riptides up here engaging on Zock's original spawn slice. Riptides trying to make it out there. There was a T2 factory there as well. That has gone down. So Zock has now taken that over. And Washi looking a little bit like he's under threat here. Lots and lots of Mantis. Thankfully, he's got a few Riptides to back him up. And he's looking slightly sticky for the moment. I think he's got it. A nice overcharge there. Could take out 6 or so Mantis if he aims it right. But I don't think he's actually got any energy storage. He probably did have. It was probably in his starting slice. Of course, one of the alterations that was made on FAF originally. It's not something that was a problem in vanilla. You started with enough energy to use your overcharge right from the beginning. Didn't need to build storage at all, but meant that energy storage wasn't a massive priority. It's given it a lot more of a essential role in this game, which is very nice to see indeed. Riptides having huge effect, going to town on Zock's power generation at the back of his base, and that's like the worst thing in the world. We saw him bottlenecking on power earlier. Doesn't want to lose that hydrocarbon at all. That's going to be colossal power issues for Zock. Minus 600 net. Things not going well for him at all. And then switches up to that air factory. That'll help you out on power a little bit, pal, when you can't be producing air units anymore. But still, massively bottlenecked. Take a look at how Washi's stacking up. He's slightly low on power as well, but things looking a little bit healthier in general. Taking a look at the economies in general, actually, Washi seems to be in the 30s. If I can see when he stops reclaiming for 2 seconds, it looks like he's in the 30s. I saw that to be the lowest numbers. Actually, I could be crazy. No, I think it was. And Zock seemed to be down around 16, 9 even. And of course, that's made worse. It's always exacerbated if you're having power issues, because your mexes will produce less mass as well. So you want to avoid power issues at all costs, really. And Zock now going after Washi's comm. It's like he's had enough. Unfortunately, these engineers coming over to assist the comm going to get ambushed by a whole bunch of slivers that are just sitting very nicely indeed, trying to cut off reinforcements going across on that island in terms of build capacity. Of course, not going to have any impact on the Riptides because they float quite happily above the water. Can just glide over those torpedoes, but Zock is going to have an impact on them, going to force them to maneuver to somewhere less hostile. He's actually managed to survive that one with 300 hit points, but Washi now sitting up here on his comm and slightly forced to dangerous territory. There's a lot of Mance on the field, but luckily for him, he's got in some reinforcing Riptides coming from all over the place, and he's managed to bag Zock's starting location. So Zock not looking too healthy at the moment as we pass or come up to the 15-minute mark. Now this slice is looking like it's under pressure. Zock has brought in his commander to try and do something about it. Washi has made a mess on his way past. He's going to get across onto this island, and now we're getting into friendly territory for Washi again. So beautiful map awareness. Looked like for a minute he was going to get tied down, but now we've got Riptides counter-attacking on Washi's original spawn. Now a stronghold for Zock. And once again, Cliff's playing havoc with the forces from Washi. It's a very up and down map. Not quite as much as Crossfire, but still, I guess because it's a smaller amount of territory, the impact of the height map is greater. And of course that naval factory, once in position for Zock, has been destroyed. And really, Washi in command of 1, 2, 3, 4 of the slices now, and making inroads down here. Taking a look at where we're at eco now. Washi floating quite a lot of mass. Not able to use it all for the moment. But he seems to be up around the 53 mass mark. Zock, however, reclaiming huge quantities. Can't give me an accurate reading for now. Can't believe for a minute that he's sitting in. He's down on 22 mass, so not happy days in the Zock camp. Still using his commander to decent effect. That was the gun upgrade we were seeing on him earlier. Nice rate of fire there. He's managed to repel the attack on what is now his only real stronghold left. Washi utilizing lots of power on the left-hand side, and it's got him up to T2 air up here. We can see some stingers on the field, and that is going to be real trouble for Zock. He's got a decent amount of interceptors down here. Washi could really do with moving these riptides. Obviously his attention is elsewhere. Finally he realizes and gets them moving. But it's very unusual indeed. You can see the gap in ratings between these two players, but as you get above 1900, level of skill generally comes down to more of how often you play. There's such a fine margin of error between these guys. We've actually got 3 T2 land factories on this central bit for Zock. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to go to single screen because that is so important what's happening down here. Stinger's coming in, working on that T1 PD to allow his riptides to have a greater impact. 3 T2 land factories would be catastrophic for Zock to lose. This air advantage is something that's working very nicely indeed. You can see Washi is converging all of his forces onto the tip of his original starting slice. There's going to be one dead Trident very soon. Taking care of the Wagners first, or at least he should be. Needs to get the Stingers back involved. There are no bangers on the field for him to worry about. A lot of build capacity on those. There's 2 T2 factories now up here for Washi, so he's getting a really nice air rush going on. He's actually going to make a play over here on the right. Probably start assassinating engineers, take out some build capacity, take out some mass points, and that's economics that Zock cannot afford to lose. All of those 3 on the tip are down. Once again, Hills siding firmly with Zock in this dispute, getting in the way of all that fire. Washi needs to move those, get them around the side, take out that T2 factory and make incursions on the rest of this slice. It's definitely going to be over if he can manage that. Stingers over here for Washi, working to great effect. Engineers going down all over the shop. I think that's probably going to be game. Zock's up here with his comm, trying to be as aggressive as he can, trying to take the fight to Washi, get back some map control. Trouble is he's very exposed indeed, and there's been a rally set for all of the Stingers on the map to converge on Zock's ACU. Zock's? It's like some weird foot warmer brand. But they're converging on his ACU, and he looks to be in serious trouble. Dropping below 7,000 HP, 6,000 HP. Is he going to get to the water? It's going to be close. 4,000 HP, 3,000 HP. No, it's not. He's just a couple of feet short. Oh, no. Boom. 20 minutes. Very convincing indeed, Washi. I am impressed, son. I am very impressed. And in case any of you think that I'm ganging up on Zock, because I just showed, I feel kind of bad, I showed that 2v2v2 a couple of matches ago of everyone ganging up on Zock, and now I've got Washi defeating him. It's nothing personal. I like the guy. I think he's funny. It's all good. And of course he's got an excellent stream as well, guys. Do check it out. I will see if I can get hold of that for you. Put that in the description below this video just to prove there's no hard feelings. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, guys, that's probably it from me for this week. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. In the meantime, stay well, stay safe, and I will see you next week on Monday. For now, this is Gyle signing out.